It is Valentine's Day, ladies and gentlemen, and that can only mean one thing: love is in the air. And so I thought it would be a timely part of the season to bring to you one championship player from each club who I do love. If you're going to enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like, guys. Do stick around and subscribe for some regular championship content. But without any further ado, let's jump into this one. Starting out with Blackpool. Now, I've got to take my Preston hat off for this one, but if I had to be objective, I would absolutely kill for a player like Josh Bowler at Preston North End, and watching him play does bring me a little bit of joy, albeit he is doing it for our arch rivals. One of the best dribblers in the championship. He's had an instant impact since coming back on loan at Bloomfield Road with 3 goals in his first 11 appearances, and the guy just oozes quality, doesn't he? Huddersfield Town. I'm going to go outside the box here and not say a player, because I absolutely love Neil Warnock, and the fact that he's back in the championship now is absolutely ace to me. Some of their bigwigs who we've got battling it out down at the bottom of the championship, you know, McCarthy in at Blackpool, Warnock in at Huddersfield. It's an old school championship rally between some of those old dogs, and it's going to be a real slug off for the second half of the season. Neil Warnock is absolutely great though, and I can't wait to see the impact he has at Huddersfield. Wigan Athletic, scraping the barrel a little bit for players I love, but do you know what? I've always got time for a little bit of Tom Naylor. Someone who gets stuck in, gets the fan base, seems like he has a great rapport with the fans. I can get on board with someone like that. Cardiff City, of course, it's Callum Robinson. This guy brought me some great memories back in the day for North End, and I'm not going to lie, a little part of me did die when North End didn't re-sign him in the summer transfer window. Cardiff got him in the end, and he turned out to be the best bit of business that they did in the summer transfer window. 6 assists, 4 goals, and a side who's been relatively void of a goal scorer this season. I think he's fairly good going. Rotherham United, I'm going to go for Jordan Hugo. While he's only played a couple of matches so far, I think he's already had a big impact in those matches, and everywhere he's been, barring maybe 1 or 2 clubs, I think he's had a positive impact on. Even at Norwich, where he didn't get all too much game time in terms of actual starts, I think he had a really good rapport with the fan base there. Bit of a joker in the pack, and I've got loads of fond memories from him at Deepdale. We're keeping up the ex-North Ender theme here, because a player I love at Stoke is Ben Pearson, probably more so than anyone else on this list actually. He is the ultimate championship S-house. When he's not on your team, you absolutely despise this sort of player, but when he's your S-house, you just can't help but fall in love with a player like Pearson. We've not got to see him in a Stoke shirt so far, as he's getting his fitness up to scratch first of all, but rest assured, Stoke fans, when he does get on the pitch for you, you will absolutely fall in love. Not just that side of his game, but his technical ability is second to none as well, and I mean, it was a great deal in the first place for them to get him in for the rest of the season. Reading, I'm going to say Andy Yadom. I'd say over these last 5 or so years, he's been one of the most underrated defenders in the championship. This season, his levels have probably fluctuated a bit because he's been moved around a little bit in that Reading side, you know, played as a right-sided centre-half, as a right wing-back at times, but stick him in his natural position as a traditional full-back, and I think he has so much to offer in that position. For Birmingham, I had a couple of choices, but I'm going Bakuna. When he's on it, he's an absolute joy to watch. That game against West Brom when he whipped out that roulette, his close control in the middle of the pitch is absolutely fantastic, and I think that Birmingham got an absolute bargain when they picked him up last January. QPR, I'm going to go Elias Chair. Diminutive playmakers will always have my heart, and Chair is absolutely that. I could have gone with Willock, but it feels like he's gone off the boil a little bit recently, and whenever I'm watching a QPR match right now, Chair is that first player who I am looking at. 4 goals, 7 assists so far this season. QPR just have a knack for producing brilliant number 10s, don't they? Swansea City, going to go with Matt Grimes, I think. Always a player who's capable of bossing it at this level, particularly with the way that Swansea play. Grimes gets plenty of touches, plenty of passes per game and things like that, and always a player who stands out whenever I catch a glimpse of Swansea. Perot, another shout in there, who's good when he's on it. Coventry City, I'm going to go Gustavo Hamer. He's just my type of player. Yes, I could have gone Gyökeres, who is fantastic to watch and has been prolific for Coventry this season, but Hamer's just got so many attributes that I like about him, and I can't help but gravitate towards him when I am watching Coventry. When it comes to, you know, a long range in goal, an assist, putting a tackle in, getting booked and getting involved in all the action, Gustavo Hamer is just that all-action midfielder who I can't help but love. Bristol City, nowadays I'm going to have to go with Alex Scott. Beforehand it probably would have been Semenyo, but over these last few months especially, I totally get the hype hype now. You know, Bristol City fans have been bigging Scott up for quite some time, and it's taken me some time to realise just how many attributes he's actually got to his game. But like I said, over these last few months in particular, he's really stood out to me, and yeah, he's a Premier League player in waiting, isn't he? Just got so much class on the ball. My team, Preston North End, I think Ben Whiteman, the player that I most love out of this North End squad. There are a few in there, but Whiteman right now I think is our most integral player in terms of setting the tempo for the way we go ahead and play. I'd argue our most consistent performer, all things considered, this time around as well, in what has been a pretty inconsistent season, all things around, but managed to keep hold of him in the January window despite a little bit of interest, reportedly so, from a few clubs, and yeah, just gets better for me, Whiteman. Hull City, I think I'm going to have to go with Seri, a creative midfielder who, when he is on it, is potentially one of the best in the Championship at what he does. Such a classy operator, capable of carrying the ball and having those penetrative passes moving forward which break lines. Yes, he probably has been a little bit inconsistent this season, you know, particularly in that first part where it took a little bit of time for Hull to get their act together, but now everything seems to be clicking from a defensive standpoint. I think you're only going to see a player like Seri shining even more. Norwich City, Teemu Pukki, I think he's gone a little bit under the radar this season because maybe he's not been quite as prolific as he has been in other seasons gone by, but he does have 17 goal contributions up until this point. If he hadn't registered any assists and instead had scored 17 goals, I think a hell of a lot more people would be talking about Teemu Pukki's overall impact, but the guy still oozes class, and when he is on it, I'd still say he's the best centre forward in the Championship. You know, he rolled back the years when Norwich came to Deepdale a few weeks ago and absolutely tore us apart in that game. West Bromwich Albion, I've got to go with Jed Wallace. He's been a Championship favourite of mine for quite some time. Throughout all the years at Millwall, such a consistent performer, and now moving over to West Brom has been one of their most creative outlets so far this season, and always a joy whenever I get to catch a glimpse of him. Can play anywhere across that forward line, predominantly on that right hand side. 6 assists, 4 goals so far this season. Just a really good winger in the Championship. Blackburn Rovers, oh, do you know what? Tyree Stolen does just feel like that one that got away from Preston North End. The fact that he came up through our youth system, we ended up letting him go. Couldn't agree a contract with him. He ends up signing for Blackburn, and what a signing he's been for them from that point. In terms of the play himself, watching him play, he is like lightning in a bottle. Got a great celebration to go along with that as well. Majority of his appearances this season have come from the bench, but 3 goals and 4 assists in that time. Is steadily progressing at just 21 years old as well. Still has so much to offer. Sunderland have got a pretty likeable team for me, but the player I most love has got to be Amad Diallo. He's been an absolutely fantastic addition to that side this season on loan from Manchester United, particularly in that spell from sort of November to December when he was absolutely on fire week in, week out. You knew you were going to get a goal or an assist for him, and definitely a Twitter compilation coming out after the match. So silky on the ball, and yeah, he's been an absolute joy to watch this season, no doubt. Watford, of course, I'm going to go with João Pedro, the one player in that Watford side who I can usually bank on when I'm watching them and say, okay, I know I'm going to get a performance out of him right there. The rest of the Watford side have all been very sort of up and down, differing levels so far this season, but Pedro's been a player who brings me joy when I watch him. Fantastically versatile, can play in a few different positions across the forward line, brilliantly nimble, can float past a player effortlessly with his dribbling, and also has an eye for goal as well with 8 goals and 2 assists this season. So much to like about Pedro. With Millwall, do you know what? I'm going to show a bit of love to Bartosz Białkowski because he is an absolute Championship icon. I know that it's been sort of Long who's been the preferred goalkeeper of late in that Millwall side, but Białkowski is a staple of the Championship over this last decade, and certainly the league won't be the same when he goes ahead and maybe hangs up the gloves. Not that that's going to be anytime soon, because I think he recently signed a new deal with Millwall, but Bartosz Białkowski, absolutely love the guy, one of the best goalkeepers in the Championship over these last few years. Shouting there for Fleming as well, though, who's been great. Luton Town, it's Peli Rudder-Kampanzu. I just love the story, I think more so than anything, the fact that he's been with Luton all the way from their non-league to Championship journey, and he's still one of the more, you know, consistent performers in that side who regularly gets into that side. He's been a part of this team through several different iterations of managers and systems. He's been able to stick it out in there, and I think still has plenty to offer to this side as well. Also chips in with a goal every now and again. Middlesbrough, I mean, Cameron Archer just has my heart. It absolutely broke me that he didn't come back to North End in the January transfer window, but I think that Middlesbrough fans are now seeing from him just why he's so highly rated at Aston Villa and Preston. I mean, the guy absolutely stole the show for us in the second half of last season. I'll forever be grateful for him due to that goal he scored against Blackpool. And yeah, finally on the score sheet now for Middlesbrough. I think he's just going to go ahead and skyrocket from this point onwards. Few other players in that burst side who I really like. Ryan Giles, been one of my favourites in the Championship over these last couple of years. Akpom recently, how can you not love him? Sheffield United, I think it's got to be Ollie Norwood, you know. And gives him a close run for his money at the moment, but Norwood has just been there, done that, a staple of the Championship with several promotions already on his CV. He's likely to get another one this season with Sheffield United, and when you watch him play, just the effortlessness of how he goes ahead and conducts a game, the range of passing, he's got probably the widest skill set to his overall game of any Championship midfielder. He's been absolutely superb so far this season, and I can't get enough of Ollie Norwood. I'd love a player like him down at North End. Finishing it off with Burnley, I think I'm going to go with Manuel Benson. It does kill me a little bit as a Preston fan that there are so many likeable players within this Burnley squad. They've got so many diminutive, tricky players who I absolutely love. Anas Aurore, I can't get enough of at the moment. I think he's absolutely fantastic. Nathan Teller obviously is brilliant there. Brownhill's fantastic as well. But in terms of a personal favourite of mine, Manuel Benson this season, whenever you catch a glimpse of him, he's like lightning in a bottle. Playing on that right hand side, cutting inside with his left foot. 7 goals, 3 assists this season. Plenty of those appearances having come from the bench. He's just absolutely brilliant. But guys, there we have it. There was one player from every Championship club who I must admit I do love just a little bit. If you did go on to enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like. Do get your thoughts down below as well. Who are your favourites from each Championship club? Let me know down below. Apart from that though guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you all in the next one.